Hey, what's up everybody? This is kind of going to be an unorthodox vid for me, just something that I wouldn't usually do, kind of out of my wheelhouse, but the topic definitely is not. And I saw some other people here on YouTube doing similar vids to this. I thought it would be kind of fun to do it. Now normally my style would be to just do it with gameplay, but to actually get out what I want to say here is going to take long enough already. So if I did it with gameplay, I'd spend a day or two making this video, and I just don't have time for that right now. So I'm going to do a couple other things here, but it's mostly going to come down to the two map tiers for the two games. But first off, I wanted to just rank the games. Most people who know me already know what I think about it. But if you don't, I mean, and same with some of these maps. If you want to see additional thoughts on a lot of these maps, I have plenty of videos on my channel playing Battlefront on many of the maps. But first off, in terms of the tier list, I will rank the newer games too, but I'm just going to focus on 1 and 2. Obviously, Battlefront 1 is S tier, definitely. In my opinion, that's my favorite game of all time. It does basically everything right. The campaign is probably the weakest part, but it doesn't really matter. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's not really unique content other than having a couple of scenarios, like you can play as a regular battle droid. Or of course the Naboo Theed Guard, of course, are there. And just little things like that, or the fact that you can't play as jet troopers on Geonosis and whatnot. But other than that, it's basically just instant action scenarios. Which, I mean, it is what it is. But on a gameplay level, Battlefront 1 is far superior to the second. Maps are superior. The game is more fun offline because the AI is much better. On hard, the game is much harder than Battlefront 2. You need to actually strategize. Bases matter more. Just, it's such a tight experience. I think the game translated better to PC as well than the second game. People are going to hate me for saying that, but I don't know what it is. I just think between the controls of rolling with the A and D keys, just the controls from that perspective I think were a little bit tighter. And from a UI perspective, I don't really like the UI in Battlefront 2 on the PC. I've just never been a fan of it. And I don't think that the graphics are quite as good as on the PC version. Or sorry, on the Xbox version on that game. But that's just me. PC version is excellent for mods, but for playing the base game, I go Xbox every time. Battlefront 2, I have a hard time not putting it up there, but I have to differentiate between the two. So I'll put it in A. Still excellent game, absolutely amazing game. It definitely is very strong in multiplayer. I think the fact that the classes are more similar on each faction than in the first game, I think that helps multiplayer immensely because it doesn't matter as much which faction you're on. A Vanguard is a Vanguard, exactly the same on all classes. The Sniper has the same level of zoom on all classes, stuff like that. So for a multiplayer experience, Battlefront 2 is the better game. People like Heroes. I think they're okay, and multiplayer, I think it ruins it. We can get into that, but Space, again, Space is kind of cool. I don't really care to play Space other than every once in a while, just for something fun to do. You know, go land in the enemy hangar and just kill a bunch of guys. That's basically it. Campaign is definitely pretty good, and Galactic Conquest is also good. But I think Battlefront 1's better. Better maps. But Battlefront 2 is a little more fast-paced, with the ability to sprint and roll in any direction, and especially in multiplayer it helps. Renegade Squadron, I haven't played this game in about a decade. A little bit less than that. Maybe when they put it... Was it on the PS Vita? Maybe when they put it on there I played it. But, I'll put it at D. You don't need to have all these extraneous... I think D is pretty much as low as we're going to go. But, I mean, I just don't remember enough at this point, but the controls just weren't great. Obviously, the graphics suffer big time. The maps just weren't that interesting. Again, it's not memorable. It's just not memorable. So I'll just leave it at a D tier, maybe pending further analysis. I don't know. Elite Squadron, I would probably say C tier. I don't like the way the heroes feel. Maps are still not as good. The whole space to ground thing is kind of cool, but I don't really care about that in my Battlefront game. Being able to customize your guys was kind of cool. But again, it's limited by being on the PSP. And it's just nowhere near as tight as the first two games, especially Battlefront 1. So I put it at a C tier. Battlefront, the first one from 2015. I think, I don't know whether to say that's a D or a C, because I don't know where I'm going to rank Battlefront 2. I'll probably put it as a D. Lack of content is a big one. No Clone Wars content at all is a huge problem for me. It is graphically a beautiful game. I think it looks better than the second game. Like, look at Endor. The game is gorgeous, even still today. And aesthetically, it was a cool experience. And I mean, the gameplay was all right for what it was, but I don't know. It just didn't have enough. Just didn't have enough content. I'll put Battlefront 2. I don't know whether to put it at a B or a C. I really don't. Because, I mean, these are different games completely than the new ones. I'll err away from my own bias and put it as a B. Because Heroes vs. Villains is cool. They have a good roster of heroes. Once they clean their act up a little bit with all the monetization stuff, it is nice to be able to skin your guys so much. Like all the clone skins and stuff was really cool. The skins for the heroes were cool. To have that kind of variance in the base game, and having all the eras, and I mean, it had a decent selection of maps. It definitely could have used more, but I think it had just enough. I don't really care for the way vehicles were implemented in either of the new Battlefront games. Although I'm not really a vehicle-heavy guy regardless. It's still just kind of a little weird. But again, it is a different game. And I would say, I mean, I think they should have made a Battlefront 3. I really think they should have. It would have been very interesting to see. But for now, Battlefront 2, it is a good game. It is a good game overall. It's not exactly what I like to play. But it had a lot of good things going for it. The campaign I never played, so can't tell you about that part. So that's Battlefront, the games ranked. Here's Battlefront 2 Heroes list. I'll go through it real quick. I don't really use heroes in Battlefront 2. I'll put Boba Fett as an S tier. He's very good. If you know what you're doing, he's very good to pick off enemies at a distance or get up close to them. Either way, he works well for that. You can evade enemies easily as well. And since he has more max health than a jet trooper, that's good. Django's probably an A tier because his weapons are a little worse, but I don't play as Django really. Because I rarely play as heroes. The only one I really pick is Boba Fett. I'd probably put Maul as a... I don't know, because here... That's where they get me, okay. I'll put Leia as a D tier. She's weak. I'll put Han as a D tier as well. He's also pretty weak. He does have the det packs, and I mean, he can be decently precise. But I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of him. Chewbacca goes probably a C tier. He's not bad. He's not bad, but I don't know. I just don't like to play as him. Again, these I don't really play as heroes, so this isn't the best list. I'll probably put Grievous. I don't know where to put Grievous because he's kind of slow. He can't jump as well as some of the other guys. I mean, he can definitely jump, but yeah, I don't know. He doesn't have the same abilities as some of the other guys, so I don't know whether he's B or C or what he is. I don't know. I'd put Emperor at a D tier because he's kind of slow to swing and he walks around with no lightsaber, so it didn't look... it's harder to tell what he's going to do when he comes up to you, and playing against him as the AI, all he does is use lightning. He never uses a saber, so... Count Dooku is actually not that bad in the hands of an experienced player. Windu, A. Yoda, C. Vader swings slow. And Choke is not that useful, in my opinion. So he's a C tier as well. All these guys are about the same. I don't know. Sakura has 2 sabers. That's kind of cool. Maul is very fun. Again, this is not objective. I'm just kind of going on a whim here. They're all kind of the same at this point. I haven't played enough with them, but all these guys are kind of the same. Windu's a little different, but yes, that's not the best one. That's just kind of is what it is. So maybe somebody has a more accurate opinion there. Okay, Battlefront 2 class list. I wish I could do it for the first game, but I didn't find one. Vanguard is the best class in the game, no question asked. Most people do not play as Vanguard unless you played online for an extended period of time. He is basically the most viable class in the game, the most powerful class in the game by far. Other classes can compete with him, but only if you know what you're doing. A good engineer will beat a Vanguard in a decent amount of situations, but you have to be very good as an engineer to do so. So S tier for him. Dark Trooper's in S tier as well. If you know what you're doing again on an open map, you can roll the whole map as a Dark Trooper, just evade damage very easily. Only extremely good snipers can get you, or Vanguards who know where you're going to land and can mine in advance can get you very easily. Otherwise, if you know what you're doing, you can be fast enough, you can know when to use your jump pack, and you can survive for a very long time. Arc Caster pistol combo, especially if you get the award pistol, you're basically unstoppable. Very powerful class in the hand of somebody who knows how to use them. I'd probably also say, I don't know if I'll kind of stagger the list out, because those two are, in my opinion, the undisputed top. Engineer's an A because he's harder to use, in my opinion. I've never been superb as one, especially with dead pack tossing. There are guys who know how to throw away further than I can, and I'm just not as effective with the shotgun. I feel like there's times when I'm trying to throw a dead pack and I just click the button and nothing happens. So I don't know. I'm not amazing with him, but he can be very powerful. He's one of the most powerful classes in the game if you know how to use him right, and he's one of the only ones that can counter the Vanguard because he can walk over his mines, he can defuse his mines, and so yeah, he's very good. These are also all thoughts coming from somebody who's played the game online in professional settings, so you have to keep in mind that it's not just about what you're up against in terms like, if you're playing single player, the Vanguard is the weakest class in the game to play against because all he does is pull out his pistol. Same with a lot of these other ones, really, they just pull out their pistol. Jet Trooper is probably an A because he can only fly upwards. He can't launch himself, so he can't get out of situations as easily, but he's still very powerful. He doesn't have much health, same with the Dark Trooper, but he's very good again in the hands of an experienced player. Get the award pistol going, and yeah, you can roll on an open map. Even a map like Mos Eisley, I mean, you can just dominate with him. Pilot, he has a rocket launcher, so he's B. He's more fun to play as. You can also do the glitch where you shoot while you're reloading, but it's not easy to do in a tight situation. That's a pilot. I'll put the pilot at, I don't know. I don't play space that much. He's not as useful as the other guy. He has the time bombs, he can lay egg, and he has, he can repair the ships that he's in. That helps, but for fighting other infantry, yeah, you want to play as the pilot every time. Sniper, oh, Sniper is probably a B, or I'd put him at a B. If you're a good sniper, you can be really good. Excuse me, but the auto turret isn't amazing equipment. So, again, in the hands of an experienced player, it could probably be more like an A tier, but it just kind of is what it is. This guy, you know, I'll rank these guys first. I don't know which one. I would say the Super Battle Droid is a little better than the regular, but I'd probably keep them in the same tier, B tier. If you're playing online, they're C or D tier because of lag. I mean, it is what it is, really. You cannot be super effective as a regular soldier class if you're fighting Vanguards and Dark Troopers and Engineers. They're just way more powerful, and you just don't deal as much damage as them. It is that way, especially with lag. You have to hit so many shots accurately. And it's tough. I mean, it is tough. You can do it, but you have to be very, very skilled to pull it off. And I don't really play as a regular infantry that much. But out of those two, I don't know. I don't know which one's better. It just kind of depends on whether you like having thermal detonators and a pistol over a tri-shot and the wrist rocket. Basically, that's what it comes down to. I'd probably put this guy, Commando, as a D tier. I would say a D tier. His main gun is powerful, but it takes time to spool up, and if you're up close with somebody who's attacking you, you can't counter him until your gun starts firing, because you don't really have any effective secondary weapon, and you don't have any equipment that is very useful. So he's just not great. Again, his gun is powerful, but it has to spool up. So from a distance, if you pick your shots and you can prevent people from rushing you, you can do okay, but it's not amazing. Bothan Spies, with a glitch, you can do pretty good with them. If you know what you're doing, he's a B tier, and if you have, especially in single player, if you have the extra endurance all the time, you can stay cloaked for longer, and you can just pop in and out and attack. I'm not very good with the Bothan Spy, but he is very powerful and very annoying to play against. Humans don't really use him that much, but he's not. I would say he's a B tier. This guy, I would say, is also a B tier. Again, if you're good with the aim, both of his weapons are effective. He has that useless recon droid, which, I mean, it's not useless. Sometimes you can get fun kills with that one, but it's not the same as the orbital strike in Battlefront 1. This guy, I'll put him as a D tier. I don't think he's that good. I really don't. Just weak. Totally weak. Wookiee. Droideka is way weaker than the first game. But he has the ability to go on for an indefinite period of time defending a base. Because he has infinite shield next to a command post. As long as the base doesn't turn white, you can go on forever. Unless they throw mines at you. But playing single player, yeah, you can hold a base forever, basically. See, I don't know whether to put him as C or B. I'll probably put him as C. But you couldn't go either way. Wookiee, I'd probably also go with C. Just he's slow. His weapons aren't amazing. So I don't know. I never play as a Wookiee. I never do. In the first game, he's terrible too. He's absolutely terrible in that one. Here he's at least okay. But I don't... Yeah, so I think that's probably good enough. Alright, the maps. Now this is what you guys probably want to see. However long we are into this video, I don't know. This has all the maps from both games. I'm gonna start with the second game and then do the first game, just because it'll take me longer if I do it the other way. I will include the DLC maps for both games, so most of the maps will get used both times. So for Battlefront 2, S tier, most Isley, definitely best map in the base game. Online, this map is just absolutely splendid. One of the best maps for this game online, unquestionably. Some epic battles on that map, and it's great in single player too, and you can play effectively with most classes on that one. You can jump around the buildings and stuff, even as a Vanguard. Very good map. If you have the DLC, Bespin Cloud City is just up there with it. Excellent map, plays great in Battlefront 2. Jet Troopers rule, if you can get them. Vanguards are effective, put mines on walls or on corners. And, I mean, just pretty much, yeah, again, any class can be effective. Snipers can do good work. You can chuck det packs from the second floor. There's a lot of different things you can do on that map to be effective. Coruscant. I'd probably put that as a B. It's okay. It's just okay. There are some spots where some intense action can happen. But, the layout isn't the best for me. It's kind of spread out. So the engagements usually aren't that memorable. But it's not terrible. Death Star is a C. The map layout's not bad. It can be a lot of fun, but there's a reinforcement counter glitch where if Rebels or Republic get killed, it takes 2 off of the reinforcement instead of 1. Online, the map was banned from Elite League play. A lot of tournaments don't even play the map for that reason unless it's on Capture the Flag. So I just put it as a C tier for that reason. But based on layout, it's probably a B. A high B, I would say, but that glitch ruins it. Fun on CTF, though, definitely. But there can definitely be some fun on that map. It's just that glitch kind of sucks. Dagobah, worst map in the game. It just is the worst map. I mean, it's not terrible. I like to hang out in that cave base as a Vanguard or a Engineer and just supply myself and keep going and hold out in there. But it's just dark. It's dingy. Grenades blow up instantly in the water, so it's just a disaster in certain spots, especially online. But it's one of the worst maps in the game. But it's none of the maps are there. If there was an F tier, I don't think any of them would be in it. Felucia is also a D. It's hard to see. It's really easy to achieve a shutout early on, especially even online, if they don't mobilize correctly. I mean, the map can be over in like a minute, 2 minutes. It's just not that interesting. The layout of the map is kind of maze-like, and it's just annoying to slog through, especially with mines everywhere. I mean, it's tough to get through sometimes, so. Hoth. Oh, Geonosis. Oh, Endor, yeah. See, I'm not thinking of these maps as Battlefront 2 maps, so I'm kind of skipping some of them. Endor is a D as well. It doesn't play that good in Battlefront 2. Online, it sucks. The map's very open and just bleak, and and you can't blow up the bunker, so it's just a command post. So, yeah, not a great map. I mean, it's okay, but on Battlefront 2, I don't care for it. Dust Plains is a C. It's a very gimmicky map. The CIS have a massive advantage on it, but the layout is... It's okay. It's fairly open. It takes forever at the end of the game sometimes because the bases are so far spread out in the backs of the map. You have to hunt guys down and find them. It also has a lot of glitches where you can get in. It is cool that you can go across the chasm though and snipe. It's just kind of a fun little thing. And then Jet Trooper can do good on that map. And I mean, online that map can be pretty fun, but it is not balanced. So I mean, that's a C. I don't know. It could be a B, but I think it's a C just because it's so unbalanced. But it's a good map, definitely. I just think that I just keep it down here. I don't know. I wouldn't blame people for putting it up at even A, but that's just my preference. Hoth, probably a B in Battlefront 2, maybe a C, but I don't know, because again, it's a map that you can shut out very easily. You can win that map in a minute or two if you know what you're doing. It's not as interesting as in the first game. Very open, multiplayer kind of suffers for that reason. But it's not terrible online. I mean, it's just I don't know. That's kind of a tough one, but I put it at B because it's just it's a well-designed map in terms of the layout of it, same as the first game. And there can be some pretty cool confrontations, and I like the snow speeders being still in there. So I put that at a B. It depends on whether you're playing online or offline as well with that map. So I don't know. Maybe it should be a C. I don't know. Maybe I'll revise some of this. Camino, S tier, classic map on Battlefront 2. Online, it's epic. In single player, it's epic. Put the reinforcements up high. I mean, there's great battles on that map. A lot of classes are really effective. Intense battles around a lot of bases. Map control is very important and very hard to have. It's quite a war on that map, and there are a lot of flanking routes and stuff. And it's a map that you have to know how to crack a good defense on that map. And I just think it plays perfectly with the way that Battlefront 2 is set up. If people are playing correctly, it works very well. Kashyyyk, I'd put that at a B tier. Good battles can be had, especially online with a lot of human players in the game, and people that know how to use tanks effectively. That can be very fun. There's tricks like going up around the tree to get into the back base, back of Republics, or there's just a lot of little things. It's just a fun map. It's not the best map, but it is pretty fun. There are situations where you just get screwed over in that map, but, you know, I would probably put it at a B tier. Mustafar, I think that's an A tier. Very good map for close quarters combat. You can jump. I don't remember the base numbers, I really don't, but you can jump to that one base that's across from the one where you put the bridge up and down. You can fly across when the bridge was down. I mean, there's little things like that that are neat. You know, there are times when that map is also a shutout, but you have to be a pretty disorganized team to let it happen to you. Again, there's multiple levels to that map, and I think that's pretty cool. There can be fights going on literally above and below each other. I think that's pretty neat. So I put that as an A tier. I think, again, it's a map that plays well online when people are playing in an elite setting. Megiddo, probably a B. I'd say a B for my Guido. It's not amazing offline. Online it can be incredibly intense sometimes, though. Good battles around different bases, especially on that bridge. I mean, the bridge can just be crazy when guys are pounding you and you're trying to pin them in that last base, and because there's little side bridges and stuff. I mean, there's just fighting everywhere in that map when you get to that point. And I just think the layout of it's interesting. But I don't think it's one of the best maps. But it's good. Naboo Theed, I put that in an A. A lot of people wouldn't. I think the map looks nice at nighttime. It plays great online. Plays pretty good offline. It's fun to drive the tanks around in the water. Dark Troopers dominate this map. Vanguards can play very good. Snipers can find little spots. That battle in the courtyard is always epic. And again, there's multiple ways to get around that map if you know what you're doing. You can kind of weave in and out and stay hidden for a while. So yeah, I'd say probably an A tier. Maybe it's a lower A tier, but I think it's an A tier. Polis Massa is probably a C. I don't know, a C or a B. I might put it at a B. Online it can be awesome. On single player even it can be awesome. But they have the trouble of that base that's right there. It's hard to defend at the beginning of the game. It's easy to lose that base right from the start. Only the CIS can walk outside. The tank battle out there is basically pointless. You can take a base from out there as CIS, which the Republic just can't do, which is annoying. But there are some good battles on that map, definitely, especially online. There have been some awesome battles on that map. So I don't know, I'll probably keep it at a B tier. It is fun. It's a fun map. And it's cool. I like in single player there's that back room near that one hangar where all the snipers hang out on the platforms. It's kind of fun to go in there and pick them off and fight with them. But it's definitely not as good as some of the other maps. 10 of 4A. Definitely great map for Vanguards, great map for Engineers, great map for Magna Guards, even a decent map for Infantry, you know. Just putting mines on the walls. I mean, the bases in that map are very well designed. A lot of great defense scenarios, a lot of great scenarios of trying to penetrate the enemy from multiple angles, having to fight around different places, especially even in the center of the map. And that's just a good map. I mean, there's not really much to say about it. It's well designed for what it is, and it's fun. Jabba's Palace A. A lot of people don't like Jabba's Palace, and I'm kind of amazed to find that out. This map is awesome online. Offline, it's great as well. Empire can lose if they don't know what they're doing. If you know what you're doing as Empire, though, you can completely shut the map out. I got some goods on that. It's a massive factory. Those stairs, just go to them right at the start, and you just chuck mines down. Mine those stairs up. If you played the game online, you know those stairs are basically impossible to get through unless you're an engineer, because they're so heavily mined up. Same with the first game. But I love the map. Everything about it's awesome. The multiple routes because you can go through the Rancor pit. I just think that map is splendid in every way. I really do. I think it plays great as Vanguard. Not all classes are effective on it, so depending on the way you like to play, it might kind of suffer for you. But I think it's an excellent map. Alright, Utapau. B. It plays kind of slow, but it is a cool map. I don't really have much to say about Utapau, you know. Hanging out right there can be kind of fun as a Vanguard. You can get up on those roofs. You can go around. There's that ammo droid up there you can get to. So yeah, I mean, it's an alright map. I'd probably put it at a B. I just don't... I haven't played it that much, to be honest with you, compared to some of these other maps. Other than playing just like messing around. Yavin 4 Arena and Battlefront 2 version. Oh, I skipped the Renvar maps. Renvar Citadel is an A. It's almost an S, but the map almost feels a little bigger than it does in Battlefront 2, so it plays or in Battlefront 1, so it plays a little slower. But very fun map, good online. Looks great. And yeah, it's just it's very close to S tier. It's very, very close. I would say it almost is an S tier. But just not quite on Battlefront 2 version of it. And I don't like the fact that they flip the spawns. Maybe that's just me, though. It really doesn't matter. But Renvar Harbor, I'd probably put that at a B. Again, I just think that the way that Battlefront 2 is with the vehicles and the whole map just feels a little bigger. It just doesn't play the same way as it does in Battlefront 1. But it still does play very well. Again, you could probably shift this up to S and this up to A. But I think they just suffer compared to the Battlefront 1 version. But they are still very good maps. Dark Trooper dominates on that map. It's very open. Some snipers can be effective as well. Yavin Arena is an A. Excellent map in Battlefront 2 version of it. Just plays great with pretty much every class. There's multiple ways to approach that map there. Everything, the fact that you can sprint and roll makes the map go so much faster, and it looks way better than the Battlefront 1 version of it. I also like the fact that there's no heavy command posts on the map because it slowed it down big time. Yavin Fort Temple is a C. On Battlefront 2, it's just not interesting. It's just kind of boring map, hard to see, dark, and it's just not. It's not as interesting in Battlefront 2. It's just not. So that's my ranking of all the Battlefront 2 maps. You can see there. Again, some of these could really be shifted around. Hoth could be lower. Death Star could be higher. Geonosis could be higher even. Yeah, some of these could be a little different, but I don't know. To me, that's the ranking. So Battlefront 1. Alright, Bespin Cloud City is an S tier. Everybody knows it. The best map in that game, definitely. It plays great as all factions. So much fun online. Just everything. Snipers only servers. I mean, it does not matter what the situation is. Bespin is one of the best maps going in any game of its kind, in my opinion. I just think it's excellent. Absolutely amazing. Bespin Platforms is also S. Classic map, very open. It's fun to fly to the back bases and get up in there, get in the Cloud City car, just sit in the secondary position of bombers and stuff. Just a fun map to be in the air on, picking off turrets, keeping your guys alive up in the sky. Just a cool map. If you know what you're doing, you can pick off guys, you can shoot into the center command post and kill a lot of enemies coming out of the bridge there. That battle for that middle extractor base is always epic. Great battle. It's fun to blow the heroes off on single player. And that map can play out pretty differently. Again, it favors the rebels, definitely. I always play as Empire on that map, and it's really fun. Great map. Excellent in every way. Best vehicle map in the whole series as far as I'm concerned. Alright, Endor, probably a B. It's better than in Battlefront 2 because it's fun to blow up the shield generator in that map. And it's cool that you can go outside with the speeder bike. And I think that it's easier to play as Empire as well. The ATST works a little better. You don't get instantly annihilated by mines. You can pick off those vanguards that come and try to take you out. And sneak into that back rebel base. You can mine it up, do whatever you want, and then just, yeah, it plays alright. It is definitely a little dark, and it plays out somewhat similar every time, so it's a B tier. I wouldn't blame people for putting it a little lower. Alright, Geonosis Spire, I think that's an S tier. It's an S or an A, I don't know, because it's so heavily in favor of the droids, but once you have a good strategy for Republic, it is just so much fun. Probably one of the most fun maps in the game to play on a more strategical level. It's just an excellent map for that. It looks pretty good, and I mean, it's a unique map. It's fun. It's one that you can't just mess around on that map as Republic and hope to win, especially on hard. It's just not happening. But yeah, I would say if you put it as an A tier, I would be fine with that, but I put it as an S tier because it's definitely the most interesting strategical map in the game. Hoth I put as an A tier. People are going to disagree with that one for sure. Hoth is an A tier. The map plays excellent. This map you can win in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds as rebels, which is fun to do. On multiplayer, it's nearly impossible to do that though. But just the whole way the map plays out in Battlefront 1 is so much different than the second game. And yeah, to me it's great. Excellent map for snipers. The turrets are fun. Just, yeah, stealing an ATST. And just everything about that map's pretty cool. And the fact that there's more command posts in Echo Base, just, yeah, I think it's a cool map. I think it's a cool map. Again, you could put it as a B, but I keep it as an A. Camino to Poca City, I'd put it as a B tier. Cool looking map. Very cool looking map, and there can be some awesome confrontations on that map for vanguards and for snipers. And the opening position can be different every time, but it generally, the map settles into a stalemate too easily, especially on hard difficulty. So it can just be a slog, just a massacre, and basically both teams deplete each other down until it's nothing. And when you're playing on hard, your team dies more, especially when you're playing as clones, and they'll droid because they're pinning you down. But again, fun to play as a jet trooper, flying around. Good map for vanguards, mine up different bases. It's. I mean, you could put it as a C tier even, but I keep it as a B tier. All right, Kashyyyk Docks is an A tier. Very fun map for both factions, I think. Having the Wookiees is cool. That beachhead is always an epic battle. Again, you can play with a vanguard there and just die over and over again, but keep holding that base. The only trouble with it is the AI kind of sucks sometimes, so a lot of guys get stuck in the water, and the same with the vehicles, and they just get abandoned in the water and just sit there doing nothing, or the heroes get stuck there. Otherwise, very nice looking map. The bright blue water is very pretty, and yeah, just a good map. Very good map overall. Kashyyyk Islands, I would probably put that as the C map. It's a good map, but it's fun to play as Republic because you just go in the gunship and mess around, but playing as Empire and CIS, once you're on medium difficulty even, you do have to work to win, especially on hard. I mean, I have a video on my channel winning as Empire on hard. As CIS, it's not terribly hard, but as Empire, man, it is brutal with those Wookiees just mowing your guys down. You got to play it just right, and even then, it just kind of depends. It's more luck-based than anything, I would say. You have to have the strategy down, but it also, sometimes it just doesn't work. So, and it is kind of hard to see. The PC version, it's a little easier to see. But, yeah, I'd probably put it as a C tier. And then, let's see here. Naboo Plains is another C tier, I would say. C or B. It can be fun to hang around that center base and maintain it. You know, you can play with the Starfighter and pin guys down. The Rebel tank is extremely powerful. But it's one of those maps that can feel like a bit of a slog sometimes. At least for me, because playing on hard on that map is incredibly frustrating at times. So, you could put it as a B, but I just keep it as a C. It's not a bad map. None of the maps in this game are bad. But I'll put it as a C. Renvar Citadels, S. Jet Trooper on that map is awesome. Any class on that map is awesome. Plays excellent online, looks amazing, especially on PC. On PS2, I don't really like Battlefront 2 on the PS2 because the graphics just kind of suck. And the auto-aim bug isn't fixed, but yeah, it's just, that's an excellent map. It really is. One of my favorites, definitely. Renvar Harbor, oh, I'd put it at an A. Close to S tier, very close to S tier. Plays great. Strategies for all factions are effective, and it's just kind of, you know, it's fun. It's fun with the because in Battlefront 2 you don't even get an AT-AT or an AT-ST or a TE. I'm sorry, I don't even think you get them. So it changes the map big time. Again, having the Rebel tank on there is fun. Having droid repair. So having repair droids for the vehicles is also fun because that way they actually last. It's just a cool map, you know. Plays good with pretty much everybody. Naboo Theed is probably a B or an A. I'd probably put it as a B because it's basically you have to just focus on the tanks. Keeping tanks out of that center courtyard if you're Republic, or trying to push them into the courtyard if you're CIS, because usually you can steal tanks if you got guys in there pinning them down. And there are good fights on it, and the map looks very nice, but I don't know. I think it's a B tier. I think it's a B tier. Oh, Dune Sea is another B tier. The Tusken Raiders are cool. Using a starfighter is pretty cool, especially playing with an X-Wing and pinning down ATSTs and taking them out. The party skiff was always really cool to mess around with. It's fun to just fight the Tuskens, even though it's not a winning strategy, really. There are definitely multiple strategies depending on how hard you want to push the enemy. Yeah, just a cool map. Tatooine, Jabba's Palace, the DLC map for Xbox and PC. S tier. Oh, again, people are going to be... I think that map plays excellently in Battlefront 1. I think all factions play good in that map. I think there's great strategies. It doesn't have heroes in it, which is kind of weird. But I think it's an excellent map. I think everything about it is great. It plays very well. And it's a little brighter than the Battlefront 2 version of it. So, yeah, to me, it's just excellent. Absolutely excellent. Mos Eisley... Oh, I would drop it down to an A tier for this game. I don't think the gameplay of Battlefront 1 suits itself as well to the map, but it still plays very good. It just plays out very differently. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that there's vehicles on it, but in single player it doesn't matter because the AI doesn't know how to use the vehicles anyway, so keyboard tray keeps on doing that, but whatever. We're almost through here. Yavin 4 Arena is a D. It's the worst map in the game. It's just dark and rainy and dingy, and it doesn't play very well. Everything's very slow, and it drags on. It's not very interesting. It's just a slog. It can be fun, especially if you just hang out around the outside of the map and just blow stuff up, but not great. And then I would probably put Yavin 4 as a C tier. It's nearly impossible to win as clones on hard difficulty. It's probably harder than Kashyyyk Islands as Empire. And just... yeah, it's just not an amazing map. It can be fun sometimes to ride a speeder bike through the back as rebels and stuff. But, and then you have ATST whores online. And, yeah, it just kind of is what it is. So I think that's good enough. I think that's probably good enough. Again, some of these people might not agree with, but to me, all of the maps in Battlefront 1 are good, and you could change some of these around, but for me that S tier is just solid, and then a good A tier as well. And then the B and A are probably pretty close. It's really when you get down to C that there's a more of a drop off, and then D. Yeah, there's But these maps, just it's the best game ever, guys. It really is. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I don't know how long it was. We'll just have to kind of see. But those are my thoughts. You know, I have plenty of Battlefront vids on my channel, and I would like to make more. Just that people really don't care so much. But yeah, to me, it's just awesome. It's just awesome. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do. And let me know what you think of the tiers if you've played these games. Yeah, so maybe I'll do a Battlefront video next month. We'll see. We'll see, guys, what kind of time I have. So, yep, catch you guys later.